continue in Shmuel Aleph, Perek Chav Daled, Pasuk Ches. Okay, after that lengthy explanation of why David cut off the garment of Shul, now David is going to give us is going to speak to Shul. Vayakom David achrechein. David got up afterwards, after Shul just went out of the cave. Vayetze mehama'ora. He went out from the cave. Vayikra acharei Shul. He called after Shul, Lamor, saying, Adoni hamelech, my master the king. So like David is probably at the entrance of the cave. And Shul is, a number of feet away from the cave. So he calls out, Vayabe Shul achrov. Shul turns around. Vayikod David apayim arza vayishtochu. And David prostrates himself down on the ground. He bows down to the king to show respect. Pasuk Tes. Vayomer David l'Shul. And now David speaks to Shul and says, Lomo sishma es divrei Odom lemor, hine David mevakesh ro'osecho. Why are you listening to the words of man that are saying, behold, David seeks your evil? Pasuk Yud. Hine hayom hazeh ro einecha. Behold, on this day your eyes have seen Es asher nesancha Hashem hayom biyadi b'mara. How Hashem has given you over into my hands in the cave. V'amar lahargecha. Now again, the wording is, and he said to kill you. V'atachas alecha, and he had compassion upon you. V'omar, and I said, Lo eshlach yodi badoni, I will not send my hand against my master, ki Mashiach Hashemu, because he is the anointed one of Hashem. So the Malbim explains these two psukim, going back to Pasuk Tes. But first of all, he's saying that obviously he's saying, why are you listening to the Lashon Hara that people are saying about me, right? And that's clearly what has been going on over here. There's been Doeg's Lashon Hara that has been making all the problems over here. But David wants to prove to him that he doesn't mean any harm. So he's saying, if a person wants to hurt somebody, but it isn't able to bring it into reality, in other words, why are you believing the guy who's saying that I want to hurt you? And you might think that, there's reasons why I haven't done anything yet. So maybe I'm not able to, maybe I'm afraid of Hashem, maybe I'm afraid of other people. And that's why the guy is saying, he really means bad for you, even though he hasn't done anything to you yet. So he's saying, why are you listening to this fellow who's saying that David wants to do bad for you? So you'd have to say that the reason I haven't done anything bad yet is I'm not able to. Well, that's not possible, because today your eyes have seen that Hashem gave you over to me into the cave, and I could have hurt you. So don't say, in other words, you might have, you think I want your bad, but how are you able to defend that position if you see I haven't tried to hurt you yet? And you might have excuses, he isn't able to. Well, now you say I've been able to, and I didn't do anything. And if you're going to say that I was afraid from other people, well, that was in the cave, and there was nobody there who could have helped you. So that reason's out. And you can't say that I was afraid of Hashem. That's not true, because v'omar lahargecha, for Hashem has said to kill you, because he gave me permission, because the Torah says, as we said, that if someone's trying to kill you, it's a mitzvah to kill him first. Right? And yet, but still, Vatachas leva, here was a little doche for the Malbim, but my hand had mercy on you not to hurt you. I didn't want to touch you. So it didn't even so there, none of the reasons apply. Right? And I did this, and you might think, that maybe I had compassion on you because I have some ulterior motive. Maybe I didn't kill you because I had an ulterior motive. And he said, no, because even according to the letter of the law of the Torah, I could kill you. So I'm not going to do it for one reason, because you are the anointed one of Hashem. Again, the wording, although he didn't say, we already learned from the Gemara, he didn't say, V'amarti l'gach, I said I would kill you, but rather, V'amar, Hashem said I could kill you. And also Hashem said I should have mercy on you, because you're tznius. But these are all things that, listen, any reason you could have given for me, that even though I meant bad for you, but I haven't done it because there's some reasons why I couldn't do it, they all did not apply in the cave, and I had all the opportunity, nobody could have stopped me, and still I didn't do it. So that's proof positive. Now Shaul might still be wondering, so just to make sure he gets the message, Yud Aleph, look how he speaks to him, Fa'avi, and my father, he's calling him his father, is trying to show the love he has for him. Ray, look, take a look, Gam Ra'eh. It's interesting why he's saying twice Ra'eh. I guess there's two ways to look. Look at it in an intelligent way. It's more of a deeper looking. And then the simple looking. Gam Ra'eh, that's the problem. Ra'eh, Gam Ra'eh, see and also see. In other words, I want you to see what I mean. I want you to hear the message. I want you to see the reality. And now on the simple level, see us knaf milecha biyadi. Look, the corner of your garment's in my hand. Ki b'chor see us knaf milecha. Because when I cut the corner of your garment, v'lo harakticha, and I did not kill you. Da ra'eh, now you'll know and you'll see. 3 times this pasuk you told him to see. Ki ein biyadi ra v'fesha. There is no evil and iniquity in my hands. And I haven't sinned against you. And you are hunting my soul to take it. So Malbim continues, and although he said, and you still might think the reason I haven't hurt you is that even if I was in the cave with you, maybe I wasn't close to you, or maybe I didn't have, or maybe you didn't have a sword in your hand, or that. Or maybe, or I didn't have a sword, or I was afraid, or whatever. Even you might think that even if you're in the cave, I still had a reason I wouldn't kill you, against my will. But look, I've got the corner of your garment, so that's close enough. I had a sword, and I wasn't afraid. So there's certainly no reason why I couldn't have killed you if I didn't like you, and still I didn't kill you. So then it's clear that I have nothing against you, and there's no sin with me. In other words, Malbim is bothered to 2 expressions. There's no pesha and no chet, meaning to say that there have to be some kind of sin, because there's a rule, avera goreres avera. If you do one avera, at least you do another avera. So not only there's no evil between me and you, I have no evil at all. Because if I'd have evil in any area, that could lead me to be evil too, but it shows you I just don't have any evil at all. I haven't sinned against you, against your realm, and yet you still, even though I am so clean of sin, but still you're going after me. So therefore, he draws the following conclusion. Yud Beis. He says, Yishpoit Hashem beini uveinecha, unekomani Hashem imecha, v'yodi lo siyeboch. Hashem should judge between me and between you, and he should take revenge on you from me, but my hand should not be upon you. So he explains, since there's no one else to judge us, nobody physically can judge us here, so therefore he's going to say that Hashem is the one who has to judge between us. And that judgment can come in one of 2 ways. Either number 1, Hashem will take the revenge, unekomani Hashem mimeka. In other words, sometimes the judge himself will take revenge without any in-between venue, or that he'll take it through an intermediate means, to which David is saying that that ain't going to be, as he continues in Yudal. But it's interesting, the illusion of Nekama. I'm sorry, in Yud Gimel. The expression of Nekama is very interesting because, as we discussed in last week's Parsha class, and it's coming up in this week's Parsha, the meaning of Nekama, the meaning of revenge. And we spoke about in that class that a person is not allowed to take revenge from other people. However, Hashem is allowed to take revenge. You find many times in the Torah that, the Gemara in Bracha says, Nekama means revenge. Revenge is great because you have two names of God that are sandwiched around the word Nekama. David HaMelech says in Tehillim, Kel Nekamos Hashem. Kel Nekamos Hashem. The God of vengeance is Hashem. So you see that Hashem takes revenge. Hashem takes revenge. There's many stories in which Hashem, this week's Parsha, Hashem says to Moshe, Nikom Nikmas Midyan, take revenge against Midyan. If you look in last week's Parsha with Pinchas, he says, Asher Kine es Kinasi. He was jealous for my jealousy. Rashi says every expression of Kina is Nekama, revenge. Pinchas took revenge for Hashem. So you see clearly that Hashem does take revenge. On the other hand, you see that the Torah tells us, Lo sikom v'lo sitor. You're not supposed to take revenge. And unfortunately, explain why. It says, you have to believe that if somebody hurts you, it's coming from Hashem. And that person is just the intermediary of Hashem. We're not excusing that person's behavior. It's not your place to take revenge. Because this is the will of Hashem. You have to realize that's what you should be focusing on, the will of Hashem, and not your own personal needs. So there's a whole, Pinchas, just getting a brain freeze here. It'll come to me. We don't see a lot of his pieces. The Rav who got killed in a car accident. Shimshon Pincus. I'm sorry. I said Pinchas. Shimshon Pincus. Shimshon Pincus in his Sefer Shabbos Malchus explains beautifully. Explains the idea. What does it mean to take Nekama? So the whole idea of Nekama means to restore one's honor. To restore one's honor. That's the whole idea. That's why the Sil Sharm says that revenge is sweeter than honey. Why is it sweeter than honey? Because the revenge isn't just an eye for an eye, but it's to restore one's honor. You did this to me. You put me down. I'm going to show you that I'm not so down. That I'm on top. And that's the whole idea of what revenge is. It's not just a guy stole from your money, take your money back. It's not compensation per se. It's not a monetary compensation. It's when you did something to me to put me down, I have to do something now to put myself up, and basically you do that by putting that guy down. The one who put you down, you put him down now. That's generally what revenge is. And he then explains beautifully. He says like this: why is it appropriate for Hashem to take revenge? I mean, the question is very simple. We know, Mahu Rachum Mafata Rachum. The way Hashem is, we are. Hashem has to behave like we are. Hashem has to keep the Torah just like we have to keep the Torah. So what's his business? He can take revenge and we can't take revenge. The answer is here, it has to be that way. What does it mean? If a person does an Aveira, so now, and if Hashem lets it go, so what comes out of this? What comes out of this is a person says, Hashem said something, I didn't listen to, and now I didn't listen. Time has passed. He's not doing anything to me. So what does that mean? That means that I was able to live a moment in my life where there is no creator of the world and there is no boss who says that I have to listen to. The whole idea of Shema Yisrael Hashem Elokeinu Hashem Echad, that Hashem is one, the unity of Hashem means Hashem is control every single second of your life. There's not 1 second of your life that you're not under His direct hashgacha pratis. Not 1 second. If there's 1 second that God is not your boss, then He isn't one. He isn't Hashem Elokeinu Hashem Echad. Sometimes they'll figure, Yeah, I listen to Hashem, but when I really want to do something that I want to do, I don't have to listen to him. He's not going to do anything. He's going to ignore it. If you think that Hashem will ignore 1 second of your life, then you don't understand what it means that Hashem is one. Hashem is in charge of every single thing. There isn't anything that doesn't go on in this world whether it's direct knowledge of what you're doing and with his either approval or disapproval. You don't get away with anything for a minute. So for example, one of the first times you see this is when Hashem says to Avram at the Brit Bein HaBesarim, you should know that your children are going to be slaves and they're going to be suffering and this and that, but I will judge these people. I will punish them. So what's the point? The point is, he doesn't want, don't ever think that the Egyptians got away with anything, but more than that. If let's say a man kidnaps a child and then sends him turns him into a slave, and he's making Persian rugs for years, and he's abusing this kid, right, and all these things, and then one day the father comes along, he gets a SWAT team and saves his son. So he saves his son. Has he undone the injustice that happened to his kid? No. Because forever people will look at his kid as the kid who was a slave. The kid for 5 years of his life was a slave. And it's a stigma that's forever. But if the father now goes and takes this terrible guy and he, first of all, beats the heck out of him, number one. Number two, he says, my kid worked for you for 5 years. I want you to pay him $500,000 for the 5 years he worked for you. Now you've restored the honor of the child, and it's not like he was kidnapped, it's like he was working for 5 years. And that stigma, as much as possible, goes away. And that's what Hashem did to Mitzrayim. I don't want you ever to think, I don't want anybody to ever think that my people were slaves, and their lives were meaningless. They walked out of Mitzrayim tenfold more for all the work they did. They got paid back for it. That's the total restoration of honor. and because they're Hashem's people. They're Hashem's people. It should never be that Hashem's people were down in the dirt, and even though they got out, but there's a stigma to them. Never is a stigma to the Jewish people. This is revenge. Meaning to say, but it only is suitable when it refers to Hashem. So if a person thinks he can do an Aveira and get away with it, that means Hashem's not in control. So the purpose of the revenge is to restore Hashem's honor. And that's necessary for the world to continue. The world has to know that there is Hashem. If a Russia can do something to Klal Yisrael and never be punished, then a person can say, where was God in the Holocaust? But if Hitler puts a bullet in his head, then you see, God takes care of anyone who touches the Jews. And 10 people get hung in Nuremberg, then Hashem takes care of every single person's name. No one ever gets away with doing anything against Hashem's people. And just to top it off, I'll make a statement in Eretz Yisrael 3 years later, just to show you that no one gets away with anything against Hashem's people. If it just would have been, okay, stop, and then it gets to a point, and Hashem knows how and when to do it, and you're going to ask, well, how about here or then? Leave it up to Hashem. No such thing as a Russia ever getting away. Titus HaRussia destroys the temple, then Hashem destroys him. That's all. No U.S. president who has been bad to Eretz Yisrael remained in office. Finished. Never be. Why? Because they're God's people. Finished. If Obama decides to the first time in years to have the chutzpah say we're going back to the pre-Holocaust borders, right? 67 borders. That's what happened. Hashem makes tornadoes throughout the United States, not in tornado season, and almost 600 people died. It's not tornado season when he did it, right? And Stalin, it's just crazy, and everything's going crazy in the United States. Just leave my people alone already. Don't think you run the world. I run the world, and I decide where the borders are. And you look in Devarim, you look at the Chumash, it'll tell you where the borders are. You don't tell me what the borders are. That's the way it is. No one gets away with anything. Maybe for a little bit of time. Yeah. In Egypt, it was 200 years. There was a reason. You just had to be there. But at the end of the day, nobody gets away with nothing. Because it can't be for 1 minute that you think you run the world. It's not God. I'll give you slack. I'll test you. If I need to punish the Jews, I need to punish them. You want to be the guy to volunteer? That's your business, but you're going to pay dearly for it. Nobody walks away in this world getting away with a thing. And that's the most important idea of the unity principle of Hashem. If you think that there's a couple minutes I could do something that Hashem's not going to notice, that means Hashem is not echad. So therefore revenge, evening up the score, is because God's honor has to be maintained. Because He's God. Can't be that Hashem's honor is never restored. Can't be for a minute. But that's only Hashem, or Hashem's people in the agency of Hashem's people, because that's still Hashem. But on the other hand, if an individual wants to do it, that doesn't work. Why? Because if you want to restore your honor, that means you want to play God. And that's not your business. If Hashem makes somebody hurt you, it's because Hashem wanted that person to hurt you. If you did a certain Aveira, and Hashem needs somebody to punish you, then you needed to be punished. And that's what the Sefer China says. It's not your job to undo that, because Hashem, you needed a kapara for whatever Aveira you did. So now you're getting the kapara because I'm the one who says you get a kapara. Because you're not supposed to get away with anything for a minute either. If somebody is giving you trouble in life, you should know it's because Hashem sent them, because that is a kapara for an affair you must have done, or a test, or whatever, but I deem it that that's what should be going on with you right now. Therefore, if you want to take revenge, that means you want to play God. You don't play God. I play God. That's why, although what's good for God is not good for you. You understand? Somebody hurts you, insults you, you have to know there's a God in this world. That guy could never have insulted you if I didn't want him to insult you. No matter how hard he's going to try, it'll never be. So if he got away with it, if he did it, it's because you were supposed to get it. Now don't worry about him. I'll deal with him the way I have to deal with him, when I need to deal with him. But you're supposed to take it. And if you want to take the revenge, what are you trying to say? You're undoing what I did. Do you understand? Let's say, to make it simple, A eats treif. So 5 years later, Hashem gives the guy 5 years to do tshuva. He doesn't do tshuva. Then what happens? Somebody goes and slaps him in the face. Not only Hashem knows the math, and don't try to figure out the math, but that was a kapara for you using your mouth the wrong way 5 years ago. Just take it. Take it and do tshuva. The guy says, ooh, that guy, he slapped in the face, I'm going to give it to him. And then he slaps him back to take revenge. He says, you just messed up the whole scheme of things. God says, I play God, you don't play God. And I played God to give you a kapara, to you the tshuva. Because you weren't supposed to get away eating that tray 5 years ago. That slap in the face was to make sure you don't think you got away with anything. And if you now go and take revenge on him, that you've avenged and you've restored your honor, that means you're still trying to get away with the affair that you did. Do you understand? Then why can you take him to a Jewish court? You're allowed to take him to a Jewish court. Why? Because the guy did two things. He hurt you, but then again, he violated my Torah. So when the guy slapped you in the face, he did two things wrong. A, he hurt you, which he's not allowed to do. And that affected you, and that hurt your honor, A. B, you went and slapped someone who's in the Tzelem Elokim. You went and hurt Hashem's honor. So when you take the guy to the court, you only take the guy to court for Hashem's honor, not for your honor. And now there's laws. Guy slaps you on the face, there's laws. And that's like Tsar Ripu Shevis Boshes. There's 5 different punishments we have. Why is that? Because the guy did not bear. We got to make sure he can't get away with anything, and we have to stop him for Hashem's honor. So that's the idea of Nekama. I think it's beautiful, beautiful. If you listen to the Parsha class, you'll get some more detail. But that's what David is using the word here. Unekamani Hashem imeka. Hashem will take avenge for me from you. He said, I'm not going to take the revenge. See, David knows he can't play God. If he would have killed Shaul, that would have been revenge. Plain and simple revenge. Shaul's putting me down. He's turned me, you'll see in a minute, he's turned me into a dog. David is a royal ancestry. Direct descendant from Yehuda, from Peretz, in line to be king? He was the anointed one, even if Shaul didn't know? Even he wasn't. So what kind of treatment is that? His perfect opportunity for revenge. He says, I'm not taking the revenge. A Jew does not take revenge. But Nikomani Hashem Imeka. Hashem can take revenge for you.
Against another Jew.
Hashem. You take,
a Jew doesn't take revenge against another Jew.
And not against the Goy either, for that matter. Jews do not take...
So what was the Nuremberg trial?
Is avenging Hashem's honor. First of all, it had nothing to do with us. We didn't run it. The Germans ran the Nuremberg trial.
The Allies, Americans.
The Americans, whatever. We didn't run it.
How about that one?
The Israeli government did.
What?
The Israeli government, they don't ask Torah authorities what to do and how to do it. You know, and the big shal is if we would actually do this. But if you're doing it on the behest of Hashem, then this is restoring Hashem's honor. But that you have to do with Hashem's guidance.
With the rabbis.
For example, killing Amalek. Hashem tells the Navi, you kill Amalek. Why? Because we have to take revenge against Amalek. Because when Amalek attacked the Jews, who were they really attacking? Hashem. So you have to defend Hashem's honor.
So
You need Hashem's instructions to do that. You know, Hashem, that's why you have an Urim V'Tumim. We had an Urim V'Tumim. We asked the Urim V'Tumim, do we go to war? Do we not go to war? Do we take Hashem's honor into account? Do we not take Hashem's? When Pinchas killed the two people, the halacha was, a person does this kanayim pogim bo. If you see a person violating it, if you're zealous for Hashem, you kill them. It's for Hashem you're doing it. We can only take revenge if we know it's for Hashem, not if it's for us. And therefore, it's not. So when you're in Gaulis, it's not so simple. Now, we don't always take revenge, otherwise we just defend us. If Nazis trying to kill us, we don't need to worry about revenge or anything. Someone tries to kill you. In Warsaw Get uprising, it was up the halacha. It has nothing to do with revenge. They want to kill us, we have to save our lives. Finished.
Well,
The Eichmann's already different. It's not so simple how you would deal with it. You'd have to ask Shilas. Maybe you put him in jail. I don't know. Obviously you can't let the guy. But you know what? You didn't have to do anything. The free world would have caught him. They would have done something. The Israeli government, they do what they want. They don't ask any shilas. I'm not saying yes, I'm not saying no. You need Hashem to tell us what will be the answer there. That's all I'm saying. I mean, this idea of, we just can't let him walk free. You have to know that we're dealing with God's laws. There are God's laws. Now, if you get up and say, first of all, he's a Ben Noach. As a Ben Noach, as a goy, he has certain laws. So according to Torah law, he should be killed. But you have to be doing it according to Torah law.
So nothing's with the reason.
You have to say, according to Jewish law, it says here in Genesis 9, you can't kill other people. He has violated Torah law. This is an insult against God. And now we have to, that's not so simple. If you could do it lamaisa, you need a bez, you need this and that. You probably could kill like Eichmann according to Torah law, but you have to kill him according to Torah law, not because of the Jewish people who feel better now. This is why we feel better that he got killed. This whole idea, that when a criminal gets killed, there's closure, there's this, there's that, all these things. It's narishkeit. You have to say one thing: the guy killed another person. He violated God's laws. God's honor has been restored, and that's how you give him justice. You don't say, "Well, he killed my brother. No, I killed him." You have to leave that for it's God's realm. God, your brother would not have gotten killed if Hashem didn't want him to get killed. He's supposed to get killed for whatever reason. He's supposed to get killed. It's the same thing. I'm sure this family who's finishing their shiva now in New York, they're big maminim. They know, for whatever reason, Hashem decided their child has to be killed. They don't know why they have to be killed. It's not a question to take revenge against this deranged fellow, per se. Obviously, you have to protect civilization from such a guy. You have to put him away to protect him from further crimes. No question about it. But they know. So whatever. So Hashem has to deal with it. He did a crime against Hashem too. And it's not that people want the blood. I feel better now that now we killed the guy who killed my brother. It's not to you feeling better. It's up to you to do tshuva. It's up to you to do tshuva. Let Hashem deal with Hashem's honor, how he's going to deal with it. If it's going to be through a Jewish court, be through a Jewish court. It's not through a Jewish court, not through a Jewish court. So as you can see the greatness of David HaMelech. You see again, he will not take revenge. Not my hands will take revenge. Hashem will take the revenge for me. If Hashem feels that you have gone against my honor and you're supposed to get it, then you're going to get it. But it's not my place to be the one to take the revenge. Because once what I saw, even though you were trying to kill me, and I could have killed you that way, but since I saw you had sneers, then already it's not my place to kill you anymore. So I can't kill you. Leave it up to Hashem. And indeed, that's exactly what happens. Hashem does kill him.